And so on.
And so on. Yeah. Hello and welcome to Behind the Song. We are Terravia. My name is Peter and I'm the vocalist and acoustic guitar player. This is Anders, one of our guitarists, and this is Øystein, another guitarist. And you two also do backup vocals at times.
Well, we suck at it, but yeah.
Yeah, but we have auditors, so it's fine.
Don't tell them that.
Oh, it's a secret song.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we are gonna talk about Arcane Horizons and how that song came to be. And it will be some overlap with your video about the guitars. But this is a different context. This is in like a history context instead of guitar riff context. So, yeah.
Yeah, covering the entire song, all
Yeah.
the instruments. I guess we can start where it's the first time that we ever played something that would become Arcane Horizons.
Yeah.
Back in 2022, right?
Oh, yeah. I remember vaguely, we were in a small wartime bunker.
Yeah.
It was so isolated and like the municipality is like put all the musicians in there and we're never gonna hear from them again.
Yeah.
The sound was really shitty, but it was great fun to practice there. The sound quality was awful though.
Yeah, we heard all the other bands, like our neighboring band was a black metal band, so every time we stopped playing we heard like from the other room. It was good times.
Yeah, we heard a random trumpet guy playing or practicing the trumpet. I hope he was practicing. He needed the practice.
He needed the practice, yeah.
We heard him through the roof, through one of the ventilation shafts. But that's where most of our ideas from this album came to be and started to formulate. And then we took it to our studios, which was down in another cellar, where we tried to cultivate the ideas and write a little bit about it. Yeah. So first of all, we want to show you guys one of our first recordings that we took from the ideas of the bunker, and just show you how insanely bad it was. If that in any way gives you hope for writing a song yourself, and just know that it can get better than this. It can get better.
Yeah.
So up here we have Studio One,
yeah.
And we have our mastered finished track at the top, and then we have some of our ideas in somewhat of a chronological order.
Yeah.
So starting with the first idea we had, this is just a bunch of ideas, and we tried to do some riffing on that, and it just sounds not good. Let's listen to it. We can hear the idea going like really slow.
It's much slower than what
it
it
is.
has been. Yeah.
And
there's weird tapping parts.
It was. We tried like maybe we can get it to transition in a good way.
Yeah.
There was in essence a bunch of ideas that we had.
Yeah.
And so this part now sits as like an unused ideas library.
Yeah.
Where we like maybe we can use some of this. And I think there are like multiple riffs on top of each other that doesn't really fit.
Yeah, it sounds really weird. And then we also jumped to a couple different riffs we never ended up using, like in the next part here.
Yeah. What is that?
Yeah, where did that come from?
Cool riff.
It's a cool riff, but it doesn't have anything to do with the other
Doesn't really fit.
No.
Yeah.
And then I think this was your riff, and then the next riff I think is your. I think that's your riff, Anders.
really fit anything.
No,
Doesn't-
it's just
yeah.
riffs.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and then this was back in 2022.
Yeah, it was back in early April,
Yeah.
somewhere around that
So
time.
they're just jamming on this. You had the original parts.
Yeah.
So we just did something with that and came up with this in the rehearsal, and we wanted to see where we could go with that. And so I guess you made a section of it.
So starting with the start of the clip you heard, I thought of these two like interlooping same notes repeating. It's just a B on a high string, where I started to try to find a melody around that, but I didn't really get it at first. Came home at night and tried something. It didn't really work, and then I went to bed, as I might have mentioned before, and I couldn't sleep, and then started just recording some more stuff because I needed to get all of these ideas out.
I think it's
Right.
worth to note that at this time you were single.
Yeah, you were single. Yeah.
So you didn't have to
Very
bother
single.
with
Sleeping routines and everything. I still don't though.
No, now you just have an angry girlfriend.
Yeah, and I was like, wanna come to bed? No. Okay, good night. And then I go to bed at like 4 or 5 in the morning, and then I'm up at 8. So I was like, when do you have time for music?
When you should be sleeping, that's when you have time for music.
Yeah, so here in, I think still mid or late April, we started with the first idea, and this is what I sent out to the guys, which is now, it's
faster.
correct tempo, and the melody is there.
Yeah.
And this is kind of still this idea from the first take.
Yeah. So now it's more like but
Yeah.
there it was more like a pulsing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We can start hearing the first thematic riff that we still kept, but it's different.
It's a little bit different. There are a couple of different notes in it, but it's mostly the same feel and vibe.
Yeah,
Then you immediately go here, like in the bridge section.
that was these 3 ideas were the meat of the song idea.
Yeah.
Most of the song is structured around these 3 riffs.
Yeah. And this is a heavier version of this acoustic
It is.
clean section.
It is the clean section during the verse.
It's the same chords.
The same chords, just picked instead of strummed.
Yeah, and then you have a much more distorted guitar
Yeah.
instead of these clean chords. So it's very interesting that all the parts in that version is included in the final song in some version.
It is. It is from the inception of the idea.
Yeah.
A lot of things we kept, but we adjusted it to fit like both instruments. Had to be a 2-guitar song for our other musicians in the band to put their part and soul into the song.
Yeah.
But this is what I came up with at like 4 in the morning, and I was really tired, and I sent it to the guys. I was like, what do you think?
Yeah.
And woke up in the morning because I knew like you probably wouldn't hear it immediately.
Yeah.
And I was waiting the response. I was like eagerly waiting by the phones, like, what are you gonna think of it? I'm really proud of these ideas, right? And Anders, can you explain a little bit what you thought when you heard this idea the first time?
Yeah, I thought it was good ideas, and at the same time it was really a song in and by itself. It was more like, as you say, the seeds that we needed to create the song. But yeah, we didn't really respond well to the ideas right away. I don't think we quite got it. in a sense. Like it took some time before we actually understood and got like the sense of the groove, the sense of the melody. Especially I remember the clean chords that we played later on. That was really. It was hard to understand what they were, the theory behind them, and the harmonies. Everything there was kind of. It was really cool once we got to the point where it all made sense to everyone, which is typically the thing that we make songs that are complex, and then that typically means one or a couple of people are making it first, and then trying to teach it to the other members, and then make it something that everyone is proud of and part of.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that keeps happening.
And trying to come up and share an idea where it's only me playing an instrument, it lacks this quality that makes it a song.
Yeah.
So eventually I realized that even though I didn't really want to put drums on it, because our drummer Henrik at the time, he probably would have liked a clean slate to work on. It would be like influenced by my shitty drum programming.
Yeah, he also told us this, that he wanted to have, if we uploaded ideas to the Google Drive with drums, he asked to kind of have an idea without drums, because I want to write drums without being influenced by what your drums were or any of our other drums would be. So that's just the way he wanted to work, which is fine. So
yeah, that's fair. And,
but for me, it's like if I only get a guitar riff without drums, at least drums, then it just sounds like somebody at Guitar Center trying out a guitar.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like is that a riff from a song already, or is that a new thing? I don't know.
The context is missing. So
it is.
In that first idea, there, it's like it's cool things here, but I kind of, for me, I was missing the kind of the hook that I really needed.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I didn't really gravitate towards the song before we got the chorus, the Arcane Horizons breaking, that part. So it was until then that's when I kind of got it, and I kind of, okay, that's the chorus. Now I kind of have a sort of blueprint idea for what the song would be.
Yeah.
And I think that's in the next section.
At the first idea here, idea number one, that wasn't written right yet.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah, so you really needed to bind something together, and also we needed to put some drums on it for the rest of the band to find.
It makes more sense with the rhythm on it, especially in our type of genre where some things are maybe not in standard 4/4 or 3/4 or something like that. It might be in 7/4 or 7/8, and without drums that might be difficult to catch. You're just hearing something that sounds wrong because you don't have the pattern it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So
that's true. So the next idea that we had, or to say like without much of a response from the first idea, was like I don't really either get it or I can't put it in context. I put some drums on it and tried to send another one. And I think this is where I started to structure a verse-chorus thing into the idea, which I didn't know I did, because I just put something that fit together instrumentally, but it wasn't until Petter's or your idea for where to put it as a chorus.
Yeah. Well, what was each section?
Yeah. We didn't really name it.
You just had a bunch of sections, and I was like, okay, this is a verse, this is a chorus, this is a. So it was more like I started to hear ideas for the vocals on top of it, and then it started to make more sense.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. So let's listen to some of the parts. I'm gonna skip a little bit through it because it's a long song already.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like maybe 6 minutes, so we're not gonna listen to all of that, but it makes a little bit more sense when you get drums on it, right? where the solo actually
Yeah.
started, and it's I've written several versions of it in between, but nothing fit the bill just as the first idea that I had.
No,
Yeah.
it's the same solo. You just play it. It's a new recording, but it's the same
It's
melody.
the same melody, yeah, exactly the same.
So this became the verse.
Yeah,
Because here I started to hear the chord progressions and okay, I can make some cool melodies
Yeah.
out of this. So then it started to make more sense to me.
yeah, it does, and putting drums on it really contextualized
Yeah.
how the rhythm and the feel of the song, like the tempo, is like the low energy or high energy part.
Exactly.
Right. So let's listen to the chorus.
Yeah, so that's basically exactly how it ended up in the
Yeah.
final song. It's just guitars and drums, but
It is.
if you include the vocals and keyboards and everything else, it's basically that.
Yeah, it's a simple idea really, because it's a very guitar driven song,
Yeah.
but the guitar riff is exactly the same, and you just add to the song and make it more epic by adding the other instruments.
Yeah, and then we kind of tweaked each chorus to kind of build and become bigger each time. So in the end, you have that whammy bar or the
The wah effect.
Yeah, the wow
Yeah.
factor. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, that's
to
everything.
kind of make it. You play it in a higher register too, and you kind of make it a wow wow.
Except everything that comes
yeah.
after is detail work.
Yeah.
It is.
You know, adding to it, adding more complex runs,
Mm.
figuring out different ways to play the time signatures. We had a couple of versions there that had more. We'll get to that soon, but it's like the almost by mistake kind of accident odd time signatures coming into the main theme.
Yeah.
And even the intro was divided into these crazy 7x8s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of them going at the same time, so 8/8s, 7/8s going at the same time. They lined up eventually.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of that came from just adding details to the original idea.
It did. The intro though, we eventually figured out that it was just too much. It's too complex. It was needlessly too complex, which is sometimes just the way I write. And so me pulling in like a really progressive direction, and you guys grounding me is a really healthy approach to the writing process.
Yeah.
And I think that having someone to send your ideas to before it's too finished, before it's too settled in your own mind, it's good to have that feedback early on, so that you can do adjustments and not go too far in any direction. Even though that might be cool, you just need to verify and have the other people in your band involved.
Different perspectives, and that's, you can also see many solo artists have writing partners or maybe producers they kind of bounce ideas off. So they're not just stuck with their own thing. They have someone to kind of bounce ideas with. So it's
not ChatGPT.
No.
That doesn't work.
No.
It just loves everything you do.
Yeah. Oh, what a great song! You're so good.
Yeah.
You will become a big
So
star.
good. Oh, you're a good boy.
You will become a big star.
So going out, this was like mostly the idea still, and we didn't really do much with it for a couple of days.
I think we had some rehearsals in between where we kind of settled on this is the chorus, this is the verse, this is this section. So the section or the structure of the song started to become pretty close to what it is now actually. So the intro is there, the verse is there, and what is each section should be there. Yeah. So that's the kind of next
next
click
part
there
of this.
is
It's basically,
probably close to the finished structure, actually.
Yeah, to see the length of the song here of the mastered version. It's about
10 and a half.
10 and a half, yeah.
10:24 or something.
Yeah, it's about the 10 minutes. 10 minutes and something, and we're almost at like maybe 6 or 8 minutes in that direction, and most of the parts, verse chorus, is already in place. So now we're putting in the interlude. What's it called?
Yeah, interlude, I guess is a good name for it.
Yeah, where we do something else for a while and then we come back, and that kind of part didn't fit and sit right with me. I just wrote something and I thought it was maybe too square, too janky. But that was because I didn't imagine how it could be in my own head.
Yeah.
And I needed you guys to bring out like the good parts of the ideas.
Yeah.
Where it eventually became what it is now. But for this demo.
Is that section right?
Yeah.
So this is like the third riff you wrote to the song, actually.
I think, yeah.
Or something like that. And then it ended up becoming very late in the song.
It was, yeah. We came right back to this part.
Yeah.
It's good.
So this is before your solo section was added in the song.
Yeah.
And this part is still in the song, it just moved even further away, so the song just grows. The song must always grow.
Yeah.
Never under 10 minutes.
Never.
So this song is like, or this section was sort of based on the forest temple in the original Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Right.
So it's like, it's not the notes necessarily, but it's the kind of vibe of that song.
It is.
There's like this. And you play kind of a thing like that on the guitar.
We do, and we also have some Easter eggs, kind of, where you do that part.
That's true.
Yeah. if you can find it, it's.
Oh yeah, no, it's a different place.
It's further out.
It's probably out here.
There or something. Yeah, that one. That's something I added because it's the kind of Zelda section. So this part is from Majora's Mask, actually. It's I think it's when the moon is about to hit the Earth.
Yeah, I believe so.
And then it's like the music kind of amps up because it's close to the end of the world.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of the melody in there. But this section is not in 4/4. So I have cut off parts of the melody so it fits in there. So that's just the kind of small thing that is in the background there.
Yeah, it's some of the small details that you might not miss. And hearing it, it was like, oh yeah, that accentuates the idea that we wanted to go for, both in the idea that we wanted this to be kind of a Zelda type theme, and also that it kind of fits like the clocky sound.
Yeah.
It sounds like a really a ticking clock, ticking a bit too fast, you know.
Yeah.
We are moving on to this is all instrumental, really.
Yeah.
At this part, and even though you already had some ideas, and we ripped some of the ideas out in the rehearsal room, we didn't really have any recording of you to put on to anything. So everything was instrumental.
Yeah.
Until you gave us
until that section where
this part,
this was recorded with just a kind of headset mic, so the quality is not good, but it was just to get the idea fast onto something.
Yeah, this is what it sounds like.
Arcane Horizons breaking through my walls of isolation, never reaching full potential, always left behind.
Yeah, so that was the first kind of vocal melody I heard when listening to the song. And the lyrics is close but not the exact to the finished song. And that's because that was just the kind of stand-in lyrics I wrote for that section. I wasn't settled on if that was the final thing. And then when I started to write more of the lyrics to the song, I kind of understood where the story, or what you should call it, the concept should go. Because that's kind of how I write lyrics. I just start with a feeling or a thought, very vague. So when the first verse or the first chorus is written, I'm not entirely sure what I'm actually writing about yet. I'm kind of figuring it out as I go. So when I kind of got the concept for what I'm actually writing about, I changed a couple of things to kind of make it fit. So instead of my walls, it ended up being our walls, because it's more of this is about a bigger thing than me when I got to the concept. So, but the melody is very much the same actually. And then it's also my shitty screaming vocal at the end there.
Yeah, is it really? I want to listen to that part. Oh yeah.
It's me trying my best, and then I added like this distortion thing to it, so it sounds more gritty. So yeah, it's just and then added this distortion to it. It's the entirely wrong technique. So if I had been screaming like that for a song or two, I would just fuck up my vocals to doing that. So I'm very happy that at this point we had Henrik, who's gonna do the screaming vocals at the end, like he did on Crystallize. And now we have Øystein playing keyboards, who also does the harsh vocals. So I'm glad I have someone else doing that, because it's hard to do that.
It is hard to do. It's hard to do well.
Yeah. And with the right technique,
Exactly.
especially.
Yeah.
I'm very worried about my voice being, like, destroying my voice. So I'm very careful. I want to kind of do it at times, but I'm really careful when practicing, because if I practice wrong, it can go really bad. So I'm very, very careful. So maybe one day I might be able to do some of it, but I probably won't do it like full time or anything. Maybe just supporting Øystein and yeah.
There could be a fine line between harsh vocals and when it goes into the realm of screaming, which you can do that range pretty well.
Yeah.
So we're excited to see how we're gonna take that in the future.
Yeah.